Thanks for staying with us. All right, so still concerning the issue of the service chiefs, there was also the controversy about where they were from. You know, many said, oh, some areas were not reflected, and people on social media was going crazy. People were having various opinions. I'd like the ladies of your view to please give us a list of where this service chiefs and where they're from.
Yes. Okay, just before that, I have to say that I thought as well, when I saw, I said,
you said it yesterday now.
Yes, I said, why are the middle belt states, especially for me, it has nothing to do with just quota, just to be in there just for the sake of being in there. For me, when it comes to insecurity, I feel that these are areas that are very much, affected. So I thought I would see people from Plateau, from Benue. They understand it. It's happening to them. So I was quite, it was interesting to find out that Chris Musa, that's the Chief of Defense Staff, they said that even though his birthplace is Sokoto, his parents are from Zangon Kataf. I mean, for a lot of Nigerians, just that name. Zangon Kataf, will understand the amount of death that have happened there, the crisis that have happened there. So for me, I know that it's important for someone from there to be part of this team because they know what it feels like. So we have him from, born in Sokoto, but his parents are from Kaduna State. Then we have Reed Lagbaja, that's the Chief of Army Staff. And he is from Osun State as well. Emmanuel,
I want to talk about the Emmanuel Ogala because when the news broke yesterday and I went on Twitter and, the way many people ignorantly lie and post it on social media, misleading people into making wrongful conclusions. It's so bad. Because when I saw those messages, I also assumed that Emmanuel Ogala, because they didn't put the middle name, was from the middle belt. They were saying it has to be from, Ogala name is usually from Benue or from Kogi. And they kept, people were actually assuming based on the name. But the Chief of Naval Staff, Emmanuel Ogala, is a Rear Admiral that is from Igboeze North Local Government of Enugu State. And it is, while I don't believe we should be focusing on the region, I think it is also important that we have inclusion because we had a very, very, our election was very polarized along ethnicity. So when we have a new administration and things like that are now being spewed from the quarters that were promoting ethnic divide during election, coming back now after elections to still be promoting ethnic divide, I feel it is extremely wrong. And Nigerians should investigate. Please, don't just take because somebody tweeted something and you respect the person. You just take it as the fact. It is not fact unless it is backed. So
Yes, so I like the fact that we can now say that at least the 6 geopolitical zones were covered in this. Abi, majority, somewhat. So that will lay the rest of, they're trying to marginalize some of us. Nobody's marginalizing anything. Now that you have been picked and you are representing us, whatever geopolitical zone, whatever you're from, you're representing us, please, it's not just about capacity because I have read, some of their criteria, their CVs, and it's quite loaded. The people that are schooled in China, Beijing, in their defense headquarters and all of that, the people who schooled in different places with their loaded CV in terms of military and intelligence, it's good. But we are hoping, all right, and we are believing, we are positive towards this new appointment that you people will put it into practice. We need to see. In a few months' time, we need to see that there's progress, especially when it comes to our insecurity. We need to see a reduction of all the fighting, the ransacking of villages, the kidnapping. We need to see a reduction. We need to look back after a few months and say, thank God the president came in and made an overhaul of the whole security architecture. Okay. We are hoping, we are believing in you guys. Please go there and don't be complacent.
Right. Thank you. So we've gotten, I'm happy that we're all somewhat on the same page with the appointment, but the one that is closest to home to us is Inspector General Police.
Yes.
Military, naval, they're all Air Marshal, they're all over, they're far away. But the closest to us is the new acting Inspector General Police. That's IGP Egbetokum. Now, he said yesterday that he feels like a lion, a tiger, about to go and kill all the criminals. And we're here cheering him on, yes, Mr. Tiger. In fact, we should all call him Mr. Tiger.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But the truth is, how can we set an agenda for him because we Nigerians experience the Nigerian police every single day. And this is one of the things that led to the NSAS protest we had a few years back. So he has more work cut out for him because his work is more tangible to the average Nigerian. We can see from how they address me. You know, my own issue always mean they're dressing.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to write a letter to him, my first thing is, Oga, change that uniform. But either way, I would really like to hear Nigerians talk on what are your expectations of the new acting IGP. What should he do first? We have issues of sensitization of the people, welfare of the police is important. Where they live in deplorable states, dilapidated buildings, the barracks is dilapidated. They don't have enough vehicles. There's a lot of work for this man to do. So we need Nigerians need to call in and give us an idea of what you want him to focus on. I would really like to hear your thoughts on them.
Okay. So for me, I would say
Let me pause you for a second. I have a caller, Ladipo. Good morning, Ladipo. Thanks for calling.
Yes, good morning, Ladipo. How are you?
Very well. You're live. Go ahead, please.
I think the appointment is justifiable.
Okay.
If you look at it very critically, you see that it's spread. It's spread to the geographical system of the nation.
Yeah.
So Tinubu has started very, very well. We should continue to pray for him so that he succeeds. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I'll start by saying that the current IGP, like you said, his work is cut out for him. But the first thing I'll say is, you know, the people that you are the closest, your constituency, they are the first. You know, when you run an organization, they say your staff, the way you take care of your staff would show how your staff will take care of your clients. And so if you say staff, take care of customers, but you don't take care of your staff, they would pass it on. So the first project I would like the IGP, the acting IGP, the new person in charge to work on will be on the welfare of the police. The police needs to feel like the people care about them. The system cares about them. That they are not just. It's not even about just the government. That we're not behind the scene. We're not the least important people for you. And that will start from, and we really, if we say we should look for the money to take care of the police or change all the things that needs to be changed, we will not find that money. But I would like the IGP to partner with other private individuals, companies. There are companies that will come in and build
The police station.
Build a police station for you. There are many police stations that have been bought down. They will buy vehicles for you. It mustn't, I don't need to, as a private individual, I don't need to bribe my way because I want to donate a vehicle. And that happens currently. There are people that will say, I want to give things to the police, but you need to know somebody you will call. The process is cumbersome. The police must open up their structure to say, we need help. These are the buildings that are dilapidated that we want to rebuild. These are the process to do it. If you are willing to come and donate this building to us, because there is a whole lot of work that needs to be done, and for it to be done within a short period of time that will be substantial, that we will be able to see the result, it would require all hands on deck. Yeah. But if we see police officers feeling respected by the system, they would in turn give love back to the people.
Let me take this call from Yakub. Good morning, Yakub. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, Moya, and then everyone, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so far so good. President Bola Tinubu, he has not disappointed us because look at the appointment. It's cut across the country. And then yesterday when I watched Oludayo on Journalist Hangout, he did a background check of General Lucky. I was so amazing because this is a general that goes to war front. And then, in fact, yesterday I was like, wow, this is kind of president. How manager Bola Tinubu know all these guys? That's to tell you that this is a prepared president. That he really know what he wants to do. And then now, look at AIG Egbetoku. In fact, when Egbetoku was in Lagos as a police commissioner, he had a rapid response course, RRS. He did a fantastic job that time. And then I don't have that in my mind, that he's going to perform very, very well. And then concerning the housing, building a conducive environment for police, I think here is the Student Service Police Commission needs to do a lot. Because that very particular commission, and in fact, I don't know, maybe they will exist. Because you go to Ikaja, you know that, our police security is so bad. So I know that they are going to do a lot. Good morning once again.
Thank you very much.
Good morning,
yeah.
yes. We also need to ask or request or appeal that the new IG fights for an upgrade of the salary of the police. The real wage that comes to them at the end of the month needs to be reviewed upwards. Not aside from that, they need to have proper insurance. They also need to have proper health care. So when that is sorted, and according to, I don't know if there's any way that they can make maybe their children to be able to access education for free. These are some of the things that will boost, that will give them that, yes, and follow up, good quality education. These are some of the things that the government can put in place, and the IGP needs to fight for it, that they get it, because if they are confident that they are well taken care of, their family will be well taken care of, whatever happens, they will put their mind into the work that they do. And I know that right now it seems like a lot of people are not wanting to get into the police because of how they have seen the police. When we're growing up, we had people who would be excited to join the police and join the army. We need to get that integrity and dignity back so that graduates who are finishing from school can read things like defense, public administration, criminal law, and all of that, and choose to work in that sector. So we need to do a lot of uplifting for them. So this is not the time, you know, what happens most of the time in organizations, this is me looking at the private sector now, is the bosses who would look after their own welfare. They will take their own bonuses and their packages, and they're not constantly fighting for the betterment of their people who are working under them. Then for those who have lost, there must be something put in place for those who have lost their lives in probably when they are in active duty, that their wives and children must be taken care of for as long as, because right now we see that sometimes after a while they send the wives out of the barracks and then they have nothing or nowhere else to go. These are some of the packages that he must begin to fight for. Nigerians want to hear him screaming that I have presented this, I have done this, they are not responding. No, you people are seeing what I'm doing. No, we want to see all of that done.
We don't want to even hear that, because
No, we
that was what we used to hear back then. They're not responding. We want a system that is responsive.
Yeah.
So as you are screaming, they are doing it. So hopefully, I have a call, Oluwaseun from Ikeja. Thanks for calling, Oluwaseun.
Yeah, good morning.
Alive.
Good morning. Good morning. This morning, you guys are looking beautiful.
Thank
you.
Yeah. I mean, okay, maybe I should say this, that, you know, Nigeria has the best, one of the best security personnel. Yes. I know a lot of people would not want to agree with this, but the truth is that we have the best. You know, what we have been plagued over the years is incompetence and then mediocrity in the area of leadership, you know, of our security, you know, architecture. But, you know, with this service chief, with what I can see that gone are the days of incompetence and mediocrity. Because this set of security chiefs are competent, and these are the people we know. Yes, you know Tinubu. We have seen what he did as a governor in Lagos State. I've stayed in Lagos State for so many years. I knew what Lagos State used to be in the 80s, in the 90s, and then from 1999 till now, in respect to security. We know what it used to be. And then Governor Tinubu came in and transformed it. You know, he transformed Operation Sweep to RRS, and then, you know, he created trust fund and all of that. And I can see what he's doing now. You know, he started with, the personnel. And then you look at all of them. All of them, they have this track record of competence.
Right.
And, you know, let's take them, for instance, Ribadu. And
Thank you, Mr. Oluwaseun. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. So I was going to say, since Tokwe and Bisa have talked about welfare, we need to talk about training our police officers. I know that we want to be positive, but also when we see the truth, we need to say it. I'm happy that the acting IGP is a lion and a tiger. So I'm hoping to see that we will have the replication of himself in the police officers that will be under him. I have seen, there's a group of police officers, especially those that we see on TV, the ones that come and speak to us. They speak well. They seem to understand human rights. They seem to understand how professionalism, but the ones we see on the road, on the streets, we have they seem like a different group of police officers. So there has to be, whatever it is that they're doing with these top police officers, it needs to trickle down to these ones. We need to talk about corruption. Just recently, just last week, a friend of mine, her car was stolen by her driver, and she needed to find her car. You know, she went to the police station. They were asking her for money to even get up to do anything. She had to get a private investigator who was able to trace the car. They got the car and they brought it to the police station. She needs to get her car from the police station. They're asking her for all sorts of money. Now, I'm not saying they're just corrupt for corruption's sake. There are a lot of things that are missing for them to work with. You know, so infrastructurally, too, things have to be put in place.
Absolutely.
Secondly, I remember when my husband as well was abducted, when the kidnappers let them go in the bushes and they found their way to the street, they saw a police officer in a car and they were like, we've just been abducted. Help. The man said, what do you want me to do? There's no fuel in the car, cannot carry you anywhere. They said, okay, call somebody. I don't have credit on my phone. Wow. We cannot keep doing that. So I just feel that we need to tell ourselves the truth. The IGP needs to do the important work of empowering them to do their jobs. The cars need to be filled. We need to have the cars. We need to have the weapons that they need. They need the training, how to respond to people, how to respond to situations when they come, when they're reported to the police station.
Let me quickly take. I has been holding for a while. Hi, thanks for calling from Lekki. Oh, sorry, lost the call. Yes, let me let you go ahead.
Yes, so I'm just saying that the IGP also needs to be creative. I know that a lot of these things have to do with money, but I do remember the NDLEA boss, and I know that's a smaller agency, but he said that there's so many things that they did that improved the morale of their staff, because we're wondering, well, how come we're getting so many positives, you know, you're prosecuting people, you're arresting, you're getting intelligence, what has happened? He said one of the biggest things was the morale. Their barracks were improved. Those who had been in positions for a long time, promotions had not happened in a long time, they made sure that they got promotions, they made sure that they got commensurate wages, you know, to their new positions. And that helped them. They felt that they were part of something. So that's what we need to do with the police, so that they feel that they're part of Nigeria, of the system, and do not feel that they need to engage in this tiny, tiny corrupt bribery and corruption that spoils the efforts, you know, the effort of the whole system.
Let me take this call, Kelechi from Shasha. Thanks for calling, Kelechi. Good morning, Kelechi, you're live. Go ahead, please.
I'd say, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, this thing is a system thing, just like you said. Yeah? If Tinubu is an advocate of federalism, if he can change, if he has the political will to change this constitution for us, I'll be very, very fine. I'll be very, very okay with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kelechi. Some have argued that the constitution actually does work. It's not a problem. Some have argued that so we need to look at it, but it's great to also have a conversation around that. Some people still believe it must change. So we'll see how that goes. But there's a point I was going to make that I think, in addition to what has been said so far, the acting IGP must be very selfish at this point, because sometimes NDLA, we see the result after somebody attained that position and first of all thought about his people first.
Yes.
So you must come in and fix home, because you cannot give what you don't have. So you must first be selfish, and then the kind of boldness the president used to appoint all of you, that boldness should be replicated.
Yes.
Remove everybody across the levels who you believe is corrupt, who you believe is not working according to the laid down rules and regulations. That boldness, we've all seen it. Everybody's impressed with it. We hope it trickles down to all the various levels of management across the country.
So you cannot, but I can't. Just last weekend, I had a training and I saw the husband of the woman that was shot on Christmas Day just last year, because he's a colleague within the real estate space. And when I saw him and we're having this conversation, it just flashed through my head that things like that we must not have police brutality anymore. And I know we started on a positive note because we know that there are many positives, and we would like to first recognize the humanity of the police officers before talking about the challenges that we on the receiving end as humans are getting. So we don't want police brutality anymore. And the best way is to create a very strong institutional justice system within the police force that cleans itself out. Until we have that strengthened, until we have that, people would still feel scared when they see a police officer. We shouldn't be scared to see a police officer. But when we hear stories that somebody was saying, I'm not going to give bribe, and then somebody was shot and the person died, then people will be scared when they see a police officer approaching them. So we would like to see the police clean itself inside out, and let us see it trickle down within the organization. Not that the lower rungs get out of the game, and some people at the upper parts that they are accused of corruption don't get justice meted out to them.
All right, let me take Shagun from London. Good morning, Shagun.
Thank you, Morayo.
Thank you for calling.
Morning.
Thank you very much. I'm a first caller, actually.
Your first-time caller?
Welcome to the show.
I must say congratulations to you, lady. I was watching your anniversary, the 10-year anniversary yesterday. So I was able to catch up with some of the highlights. And I really am very proud of all you ladies. And I thank God for giving your husband wonderful wives. Because for some of us who are Muslims, if they say, oh, why is polygamous allowed? I'll say, yes, polygamous is allowed because of things like this. If they say, oh, choose among these ladies, I'll say, I'll take all of them. So their husband is very lucky.
Oh,
now,
thank you, sir.
Thank you. My husband are lucky. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Shagun.
you, sir.
Oh, I hope we didn't lose that call. Go ahead.
Yes, so we've seen, over the years, some of the actions of the police, especially the ones on the streets, like you mentioned, and it's like that disconnect is usually there compared to the people that would come and speak, and you're like, you are sounding very reasonable, you understand the Nigerian populace and all of that. So I would advise that they make mental health checks very important. I think this is according to best practices all over the world. Let's pick up some of the good things when we travel and see these things. Let's bring it here. They must be evaluated. It should be a crime that a police officer in uniform is drunk. Or drinks during, it should be a crime. And I like what the police has started doing so far. I just want to see a continuance of it. They've been punishing those people who have been going out and embarrassing them. They've been taking them through, dismissing and all of that. But because they say when there's no law, there's no sin. If there's a standard mental health check that happens regularly, and I understand their job can be quite frustrating and hectic, aside from the Nigerian issues that holler you and drag you up and down. You come to man a lot of people, you interface with a lot of people with your own frustrations. I understand, and that's why it's very important that they put it as one of those things they would spend resources on, because you need to get professionals who will help keep evaluating these people so that we see a better police force. That way, our children can wake up and say they want to become, they want to go into the police. I will not say, God forbid, that kind of thing.
All right, so I think that's all we can take on this segment. But in a nutshell, the job is set ahead for the acting IGP, Inspector Betokun, and all the service chiefs. Nigerians are waiting to see your move. As we said, we appreciate the boldness of the president. We also hope that you will use that same boldness to make changes within your individual agencies, and so that Nigerians can begin to see exactly the real changes that they expect. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, move on to our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.